Hey, I'm Mark Maule. We're in northern Minnesota today, chasing cold front fish. We've got bass here. We might catch some northerns. Cold fronts can a lot of times give anglers a lot of trouble. Now stick around. We're gonna see if we can't give you some tips to catch fish when conditions are unforgiving. You know, normally when I'm fishing, oh, I got him! Holy cow! Oh. Holy excitement. Okay, I'm awake. I'm good. That fish hit 4 feet from the kayak, and it's a bass. I mean, it's only, might be a 14-incher, but I think I'm onto something here. It's all about the bogs today. Whew. You know, one thing, even though we have a cold front, I like using topwaters, and here I've got a popper. There's one. And one thing I like to do with the poppers is I like to just have it gurgle. I don't like a lot of splash or noise, especially during a cold front. Get up here. Just a little rascal. He really meant it on that popper. Wow. And that's exactly what I was hoping for. Get an aggressive fish, and he absolutely T-boned it. You know, that's a real bluegill pattern. I just love it. Slow it down during cold fronts, make a little bit of noise. We'll let that one go. When I'm out kayak fishing, especially during cold fronts, is I've got at least a couple of different rods rigged up. I've got a hard bait, and I've also got a soft plastic, and I do that just because you never know what to expect. I mean, you know, one day they might be going strong on a hard bait, and the next it might be a plastic. And sometimes I swear there's no rhyme or reason. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm fishing bogs like this is I'll like to throw the worm, like I got a 5-inch Cinco style on here right now. I'll actually throw it into the weeds and then pull it off so it softly lands in the water. And cold front fish like that really can make a big difference. And sometimes you have to wait. It's painfully slow, but when you get a bite, a lot of times they jut out of those bogs and they grab it and they go back in. So well, he's not huge, but boy, did he eat that big worm. I'm drifting right into a spot that I wanted to fish. But in a kayak, you know, one of the best pieces of advice I can give is do one thing at a time. I'll come back to this spot later. I'll probably stir him up, and that's okay. I'll come back to it later. I'll make sure I get this fish unhooked, make sure the fish goes back safely, make sure I don't get hooked. Wow. So that fish, that fish is probably about a 14.5-inch fish, and it ate a worm over 7 inches long. All right, you go home. Go on, tell a bigger one to bite. So the line that I'm using is critical when I'm faced with bogs. I mean, there's logs in here and mud and weeds and you name it, and that fish was headed right back underneath. I'll show you this fluorocarbon that I'm using. I go with 12-pound test, and I know that 12-pound test sounds like a lot, but I need something that's really strong to hold the fish, obviously, when they get tangled up in this mess. And there's northerns in here too, so I need to be able to handle those fish. You know, I need a line that is really abrasion resistant and super strong, you know, and the transparency of it. You know, so when you're dealing with finicky fish, especially during a cold front like this, you know, that can go a long way. That must have been a bluegill. You know, that's one thing too that I'll do is I'll use like a 5-inch Cinco to find bluegills, because a lot of times they'll hit them before the bass will get to them. I think that was a small bluegill there. Hey, you know, cold, rain, snow, wind, not the greatest conditions for kayak fishing, but you know, I'll take a solid 16 and a half, 17-inch bass any day to end the trip after those kinds of conditions. Hey, I'm Mark Maule. Thanks for joining me today. More Midwest Outdoors will be right up.